You know, it's interesting because when I heard what he had to say, I know Doug a little bit. I like him a lot, and I felt like he had a right to say what he said because he's your friend. Played in college with you, played in the pros. But, you know, one of the reasons I'm happy that you're here is because I like letting everybody know, you know, you got the platform, use it. You know, we want to hear what you have to say. I looked at Doug Baldwin and heard what he had to say, and I'm saying, you know, folks, it prompted folks, provoked folks to ask, should Richard Sherman be traded? And I'm like, are y'all insane? I mean, who you got? Who you gonna replace it with? I'm not trying to disrespect any teammates, okay? But damn it, when we hear about Seattle secondary, we hear about you. I don't hear too much. What is it, Snead and who
Earl
is it?
Thomas.
Jeremy Lane. I'm just talking about corners.
Yeah.
I mean, do you find yourself sitting there and when you hear stuff like that, it's like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Talking about trading me?
I just laugh it off, man. It's you know, it's funny to me. But, you know, sometimes people need to see you gone to realize what you had. Sometimes grass ain't always greener on the other side. But, you know, I don't let things like that bother me. I just, you know, the chips will fall how they're supposed to.
It's interesting that you just said that. Do you find yourself at times, whether it's the local media, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but whether it's the local media, some of your teammates, some people in the organization, do you find yourself feeling like, you know, you'll miss me if I'm gone? Maybe you should lose me before you learn to appreciate me. Does Richard Sherman find himself feeling that way sometimes about the organization?
I actually told that to the local media last year when I stopped dealing with them. I said, you'll miss me when I'm gone. You know, it'll be much more difficult for you to write your stories and get your clicks and the things that you need. But, you know, I think sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to prove a point. I think on our team we have a lot of great guys. We have a lot of personalities. We got a lot of people who could do that. You know, Mike Bennett is incredible.
Bennett would have to talk twice as much if you weren't there.
Talk a lot more.
Right.
But you got guys like Cam, you know, who have a great message. You got Bobby, you know, guys who deserve to be seen more. So I'm happy to step back.
We get back to the Baldwin thing for a second. Let's not rush past that because that's what I mean by the culture of the team. The best wideout kind of takes a shot in the press, it seems like, although he prefaced it by saying he'd say it to your face, at the best corner on the team. And on a lot of teams, that would lead to dysfunction. But it doesn't seem to on this team. And you just said he sometimes gets beside himself. You know, my ears, that's almost like oh, shots fired. Okay, let me take a little shot. But we're great friends. But he sometimes...
Yeah, like, why say it to the media? Why not just say it to you?
You know, we do both. We do both. I mean, he says it to me, and then he gets his point. He was asked the question. He answered his question.
Yeah.
And you guys see each other in the locker room, and it's all good.
I just saw him yesterday. It's definitely good. I saw what he said. We don't worry about it. We don't worry about it because stuff like that has little meaning, you know, to what we really do. We know how each other feels truly. You know, I deal with him on a daily basis.
Is he right, or do you think you're smarter? You're very smart, everyone knows, or do you think you're smarter than yours? What about the content of what he said?
I mean, that point is kind of null and void. Do I think I'm smarter than what I am? I probably think I'm a better player than what I am because I think I'm the best, you know, in the world. But, you know, it's beside the point. Things like that will never have a great impact on our team because guys have a true understanding of who one another is. So when you say stuff like that, it's just like, oh, man, he don't mean that.
I'm going to go back to it one more time, but not to nitpick at conflict. I'm just talking about the content of what he said because it's interesting to me. Guys like you who become superstars have a view of themselves as superstars. That's why it seems to me you say, I think I'm the best in the world, even if I'm not. That's kind of what makes you who you are. And it seems to me that he was saying you want that because that's what makes him great, but you want to rein it in enough so it doesn't become counterproductive. What do you think about that idea, and how do you negotiate that with yourself?
I don't think about that idea. I don't worry about it. What I do has worked for me. What he does has worked for him, and that's why we're two different people. You know, we both ways work for one another. He's had a successful career. I've had a successful career. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat.